ones who are paid an arm and a leg by publications, and their photographs are published with their columns and everything. And it's why? Because they are brands. Even if it's a crappy column by a well-known columnist, right? He's still paid much more than somebody like me writing 100 times better piece. Why? Because I still haven't reached that level. So I realized that I need to be known to people, and then on a lighter vein, then whatever I dish out is going to be seen as like, wow, that's good stuff.
That's true, yeah.
Right? So, but the starting point to that is to actually churn out good stuff. Because if you don't churn out good stuff initially, you will never get to the position where you can churn out bad stuff also and it'll pass off as good. Right? And so a lot of effort does go in getting across to people as to who I am, the kind of work I'm doing, what's the quality of work I'm doing, and I try to work with the traditional media to get as much about myself as out. Sometimes I get good results. Sometimes I don't get very good results.
How do you do that?
I haven't engaged 2020 yet for it. I do it all on my own, and
you are your own PR firm.
So far.
Like I'm my own PR firm too, and so is Gautam, for instance.
Yeah.
So Mold doesn't get us stories, but we get featured in stories anyway.
Yeah. So from time to time I do send out releases. I do make myself available when I'm doing my.
You send out press releases?
Yeah.
How many in a year? That's fascinating.
Typically about half a dozen a year.
Brilliant. We should start sending out our own press releases.
I tried doing that. Some free PR website said it's rejected.
So how do you send them out?
No, I have a database of journalists which I keep updating, and I do targeted releases. So I know that in Midday, in Asian Age, and Hindustan Times, and so on. So I need these are the people I need to send out to my releases to. But I also know that I need a little professional help here. Why? Because the same thing I'm saying through my in the way I can say, maybe a communication expert will rewrite or reposition the same thing, and I might get better results from journalists than what I do now, because I write my own copy. But I'm sure a PR professional will tell me, hey, the content is fine, but just rejig it like this, and suddenly it'll ring more bells in the recipient's mind.
Okay. And typically,
for the others, our discussion might. Why do you think personal branding is important? Before we say it out, is there anybody who thinks personal branding is fluff? Doesn't Hawaii baatein hain, hawa pani, whatever.
As long as you will do, as you said, as long as you are able to sustain yourself, it's totally fine.
As long as you have some substance. If you're just talking and you don't have anything to back that talk.
But is there, let's kind of take it devil's advocate. Is there anybody who believes that good work speaks for itself? I don't need to go into this personal branding stuff. If I am good, my work will speak for itself. I will be well known, communicated.
A resounding no.
Somebody might still think.
I used to think about it.
You are the guy who wrote a book on branding.
But that's for the brands. That's what companies.
Jessie Paul wrote that in her blog, and it kind of resonated with me. She says, marketing or branding or whatever, all this whole thing is important for products which are commoditized. So a soap is a soap is a soap, which is why you need so much marketing around the soap to kind of position it differently from another soap. And she was basically talking about why Indian IT firms don't market. She says because they're competing with Accenture, IBM, their value proposition, the goods are not commoditized. The value proposition is very different. Those guys are charged for consulting, these guys charge for coding. And so therefore there's a big difference. The client doesn't see them as soap and soap. Doesn't see an IBM, Accenture and Wipro as equal. The cost of Wipro is here. So she says that's why Indian marketers are not really needed in IT firms. in a strategic level as they're needed in a FMCG consumer durable firm. And that kind of hit me saying, if I'm doing remarkable things, there are tons of people out there doing remarkable things. The only way others will get to know you're doing remarkable things is if you tell them about it. And that is the first step, I think. And this whole using social media, etc., is still a tool. You could have done personal branding even if the tools weren't available, but your reach would have been limited. Now, what the tools have done is they've kind of exploded that reach across geographies, and you can find people, the whole social media concept of long tail. You can find people who are interested in your work because your work is so niche. You can reach out to the same guy in the same niche in Canada, USA, New Zealand, Australia, and that is, I think, more powerful than anything else.
So both of you, let me ask you, yeah. So let me start interviewing both of you, since both of you are perfect examples of people who have personally branded yourself. Tell me, Ajay, and then tell me, Gautam. Do you think that a lot of people think of themselves as remarkable to begin with? And if yes, then why haven't we heard of them? And if no, then why don't they? Because I think all of us can be remarkable.
I think most of us, unless we suffer from a certain complex, we think that, hey, we are so good, and why is the other guy getting ahead of me?
Mm-hmm.
Right? The other thing is what I wanted to say about personal branding. It's easier to create a buzz, no matter how good or bad a work you're doing, about something, something like what I'm doing. I'm traveling, I'm writing books, I'm doing photography. Okay, it's easier to get people talking about it, even if they don't see your work. But what about a Ruby on Rails programmer? Like, what does he do? Like, most people don't even know what the hell Ruby on Rails is. They don't even know it's a programming language. And even amongst programmers, I've attended a few bar camps. 80% of the audience didn't know what Ruby on Rails does. So there's an ace programmer on Ruby on Rails. How does he personally brand himself?
So you have personally branded yourself on travel, which you're saying is easy.
It's easier.
Easier. HR, Gautam, is very difficult in that sense. Yes?
I don't think. See, even HR is it's easier to do. Why? Because HR
is understood, and I think
It's in the common domain.
and it's gone beyond payroll processing. So people understand, okay, they need, because HR has become so important over the last few decades, right? So a good HR guy, a guy who understands HR beyond payroll, is very important in today's world, right?
I think.
So when did you decide, Gautam, that you didn't want to be an HR manager in some company?
So let's start at the beginning. And I think the first time I actually thought about this was after Satyam I left to join the small innovation consulting firm, in which they asked, so what's your big goal for your life? And this is not interview questions, this is like one offsite event. I was like, my big goal in my life, I want to be well known as a management guru like C.K. Prahlad is.
What year was that?
This is 2002.
Okay.
They're like,
How old were you? 28? 20?
yeah, around.
Oops, you know that now.
No, I've turned 30.
It's a good time when you're 27, 28, 29. It's a good time to say, I want to be a big management guru like C.K. Prahlad. I want to be the next guru. It's a good time to say that. When I was 28, I bought this domain called Next Marketing Guru. And I wrote a post about saying, I'm just going to write about marketing from here on, because that's what I want to be. And Gautam was the first person who commented on that, I remember. And it's a good, some of you are hitting that age right now. It's a good time